starting to feel like it's been like 5 episodes since we last seen Raneka and Asonta. We finally got to see them wrap up their storyline on the season finale of Love After Lockup. And I honestly even forgot that they were on this season for a minute. And I did notice that Raneka was asked on her Instagram if she ended up getting her bond money back. And she did say, I got it back now because the case was dismissed. So in the season finale, first we got to catch up with Raneka. And at this time, it's been a few months since we last saw her pull up on the hotel room with the private investigator. And she says that she is done chasing Asonta all around town, and now she's just focusing on herself and her children. And I think, honestly, that's the best decision. I think Raneka looked beautiful this episode. I think her makeup looked good and her wig, even though she's still wearing the same wig, it looks a lot better than when we first saw her in it, when she had all the baby hairs and the edges just coming out. She actually had them more under control now. So then they show Asonta, and he's driving in a car, and he has like this big bouquet of roses next to him. And he said he went to go pick up flowers because it's him and his girlfriend's anniversary. But he literally said it was his girlfriend's anniversary. Then literally minutes later, when he's talking to the producers and they asked him how long he's been with his girlfriend, he's like, like he was really struggling. He's like, like a month or so. It's like, dude, didn't you just say it's your guys' anniversary? Or is this just like you're making this up to go along with the storyline? So since Raneka confronted Asonta at the hotel, Asonta said everything has been on the up and up for him. He actually got his own place. He's been working at a job, and he has his own car. And I know this car is not a rental because it was an older car. So they had it set up where they were trying to make it look like Asonta may be fixing to pull up on Raneka because Raneka was preparing for a party with her girls. And Asonta pulls up and he knocks on the door, and next thing you know, you hear the door knocking at Raneka's home, and she answers the door, and it was her family who came to visit her. And then next thing you know, they're showing Asonta knocking on the door of his girlfriend's house, and she answers and she lets them in. So if you've been keeping up with my videos, then you guys already knew who this girl was. Her name is Quita, and she actually spoke out after Asonta passed away, and she shared a post on Facebook saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're gone. We were just filming for Love After Lockup, but she did confirm that her and Asonta had broke up before he passed away. But Asonta said that he's been with this girl for a little over a month now, and the producers asked him, well, what happened to your auntie? And at first he's like, auntie? Like he had to remember what lie that was. And this dude was like, oh yeah, she just called me this morning, but we're just friends. And he was talking about how he really likes Quita, his current girlfriend, because she doesn't press him and she's not all up in his business like Raneka was. So pretty much she was willing to tolerate his nonsense for the time being, and she wasn't pressing him. And he said he loved that about Quita, and he didn't like the fact that Raneka was so hype all the time and always up in his business. And Asonta just pretty much doesn't want a girl who's going to try to hold him accountable when it comes to him cheating. He wants to be able to cheat in peace, pretty much. And I'm honestly shocked he didn't pull like a 20-year-old girlfriend like we see a lot of these serial cheaters do, like Chance, for example. When he can't handle like someone like Taylor who wants to hold him accountable, he went and found a 22-year-old girl who's just going to let him do whatever the hell he pleases. Like, Chance legit looks like a father holding his teenage daughter, helping her put the star on top of the tree. But anyways, back to Raneka and Asonta. So Asonta was asked if he would ever get back with Raneka, and he said no. He said Raneka will always have a special place in his heart, but he's up to seeing her again in the future. And he said right now he just got out of prison and he's having a hard time sitting still. He's trying to make up for all that lost time, and he says he gets really anxious, so he just wants to go out and live his life and hook up with whoever he wants whenever he wants. Then Raneka, man, I was so proud of you, Raneka, for a second. And then you had to do this BS. So she's over at her house and her family comes over, And they're sitting there talking about Asante. She's talking about all the BS he put her through. And they're like, well, would you give him another chance? Because the whole time she's talking about everything he did to her, she still has a smile on her face. And she's like, I want to marry that man. I would marry that man tomorrow if I could. And it's like, girl, what? How drunk are you? And that's even what her family member, I think it was her cousin, asked her, are you drunk right now? And Raneka was trying to say, oh no, I'm not drunk. But if you listen to how she talked after she said that, she was slurring her words so bad. You could tell that was the alcohol talking right there. So next thing you know, her phone rings and she answers it, and look who it is. It's Asante. So Raneka was cheesing so hard, and she lit up like a Christmas tree when she saw it was Asante calling her phone. And this is happening months after the hotel incident. And if I was in her shoes, I wouldn't even been answering the dude's phone calls. I would be like, man, you don't deserve another second of my time after all the time you wasted of mine. And so she ended up answering the phone, and he's sitting there trying to act all nonchalant, like not even bringing up anything, but like, what are you up to? And even though he said he was happy with his current girlfriend and she treats him good, he's out on her porch literally asking Raneka if he wants to hang out and hook up. And luckily, Raneka had the willpower to tell him no. At first, she was like really thinking about it. You could tell she wanted to say yes for a second, but she's like, oh yeah, you kind of did me wrong. And she said no, but she did end up seeing him a couple months later before he passed away. Hopefully she didn't come off no coochie after everything he put her through. Hopefully they're just hanging out as friends. Because I'm pretty sure he was with his girlfriend that is currently pregnant with his child when he hung out with Raneka that last time. And then we got one last outro from Asante where he said it's hard for him to be faithful because he is anxious and he just probably has one life to live. So he's trying to have fun while he's here. And it was just really ominous feeling when he said that. I literally got goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie, I'm an empathetic person, so I got tears in my eyes knowing that he's no longer with us when he said that. And then we got the update that he got in the car crash. And I did try to see if there's any social media updates. I saw some of Asante's loved ones posting on social media that after he passed away, someone ended up making a Facebook account under his name and requesting all his friends and family. And someone ended up posting saying this is sickening, and multiple people posted in the comments and said they had got a request from that same account. So when Asante passed away, he left behind a pregnant girlfriend, and she is due to give birth any time now within this month. And she is going to give birth to a baby boy, and his name is Legacy Cash. And apparently Asante is the one who named him. And she's been posting different things that people have been sending her. She said, one thing about my friend, she's going to make me cry every single time. This took me out today, especially when I seen the hand picked by my daddy in heaven. And that is just so sad and heartbreaking. And here's another outfit for the son that says, rest in peace, daddy. So when Asante passed away, he left behind an unborn son, and he also had 2 other sons on top of that. So I really feel for his family, especially for his children. So for those of you guys who may not know what happened, just a quick little update what happened with Asante. For the people who may have not been keeping up with things outside the show, so this is from a local radio station after it happened, and it talks about a crash happened that left 1 dead and sent 4 local youths to the hospital. So it says, according to a social media post by family members, a car fleeing from law enforcement struck a Ford F-250 driven by one of the young residents a short distance from the gas station on Highway 106. The truck flipped multiple times before coming to a rest in a ditch. And according to a social media post by family members, all 4 occupants of the truck were transported to the hospital where they ended up getting released later on with just minor injuries, but Asante ended up dying on the scene. So what ended up happening was Asante was driving, he was speeding, he was going over the white line, and a cop ended up seeing that. So a cop ended up turning around and decided to start following Asonta, and he was about to turn his lights on and pull him over, but before he could do that, Asonta sped off even more, and then he ended up crashing in this truck. And his family came out and they were really upset that this radio station was trying to frame it that he was running from the police because the police had not turned their lights on yet and it wasn't like an active pursuit yet, but they're in the process of doing it. So I mean, I think it's pretty much close to the same thing in my opinion, but the sheriff's department had to come out and clear it up. I think they just did that so they didn't get sued, and they had to say, oh, it wasn't an active pursuit, but it was about to be an active pursuit. So rest in peace to Asonta. Raneka ended up getting her bond money back. She's still living in Atlanta at this time, and it appears that she's still living the single life. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.